Hi there, and welcome to another episode of Selling Life and Annuities. I'm Randy Pearson, Vice President of Life and Annuities for Gordon Marketing. And I have here with me today Craig Mira, our Regional Vice President for Life Insurance. And today we're going to be talking about selling indexed universal life, protection plus potential. Stay tuned. Hey, Craig, welcome once again to another Zoom-centric episode of Selling Life and Annuities. So happy to have you with us from sunny Southern California. So today we're going to be talking about IUL, and as our resident indexed universal life expert, talk to us for a moment about some of your favorite carriers in the IUL space.
Sure, Randy. So we definitely all have our favorites there. I have really always believed in going with the lowest cost carriers out there. They're going to be able to hold true to their promises. North American, Symetra, National Life Group, AIG are a few of the carriers that really have stuck out and carriers that I've used in my past. But if we're really talking about that accumulation-focused sale, where we're really selling off a tax-free retirement style concept, Allianz has always been my leading choice there.
All right, fantastic. I like Allianz too, but before we really dive into Allianz, can you give us just a quick update on what's happening within the IUL industry? Because, I'm seeing a lot of different types of IULs come out from various carriers. So, if an advisor is watching this video, how can they tell the good from the bad? How can they tell them apart?
Well, you're right, Randy. There really has been an absolute explosion of new products that have come in within the IUL industry over the last 10 years. We've seen such an explosion that 2019 was in fact the first year we've ever seen a decrease in sales year over year in the whole life industry. Wow. I think that's really been a tell of the shift in focus that we've seen over the last 10 years from whole life still has its place, certainly. I'm not discounting that at all. But we have seen a big shift towards the IUL industry. So we have protection-focused IUL, we have accumulation-focused IUL. Heck, we even have single premium-focused IUL right now. A bulk of those sales over the last 10 years, though, have still today have been focused on that accumulation-focused IUL, that LIRP, or Life Insurance Retirement Program.
All right, fantastic. Well, thanks for that explanation and clarification. So since we're today going to perhaps focus a bit on Allianz, how does Allianz fit within these different types of IULs?
Sure, another good question. Allianz has really been laser focused solely on the accumulation style IUL. In my opinion, they really are the king of indexing. Their most popular indexes, they use a uncapped index allocation, no spread, 155% participation rate, and most importantly, a guaranteed multiplier. The focus here is really to utilize a low volatility index and gain that sequence of returns through that low volatility index, but then we're throwing on the multiplier and participation rate to really max out that growth. So your typical design here is going to be that 45-year-old male paying income to 65, income from 66 out to maturity. That's going to be their sweet spot.
Excellent. Really good stuff there. And I really like how Allianz has that guarantee on their multiplier. It's very impressive and to some degree a bit unique. Anything else that they're doing that delineates them from the rest of the pack?
Sure. Right now, they just upped their simplified underwriting, no blood, no urine, up to 3 million, ages 55 and under. So I'm seeing cases go through in 48 hours or less at preferred plus non-tobacco. They have an EAP, very, very simplified EAP process that's going to allow us to go out there and sell virtually, which I think is very important in today's COVID age. A guaranteed 5% on their participating loan feature. So while rates are very low today, really anticipating where they're going to be 20, 10, 30 years down the 30 years down the road from now, when our clients go to pull out income, we can lock in that 5%. They use dynamic hedging as well. And dynamic hedging is going to be where they are doing all their options buying in-house. Most other carriers are going to have to outsource this. pay additional costs. So this is a big part of the story, how Allianz has been able to maintain these caps or participation rates, where a lot of the other carriers have had to make some really negative moves in their caps. So the products that you sold 5 years ago with some of these other carriers look very different today. What's going to happen there is the producer is going to end up getting that phone call, right? Where they get a letter from the client, a letter from the insurer saying that their caps went down. So Allianz has been able to weather that storm due to this dynamic hedging a lot better than some other carriers out there.
Yeah, that's a huge differentiator. You know, in some of our prior videos, I know that you and I have talked a little bit about the difference in costs, you know, within that IUL space. The costs within the product are a huge issue. And I believe I understand that there are some new regulations coming down the pike that advisors need to be aware of with regards to costs within IULs.
Absolutely, Randy. There really has been. This is something that I really hold near and dear to my heart. I plan on having a long, steady career within life insurance and really focusing on IUL. So I think it's really important that we address this type of topic. This is something I think is, again, very important. And I think every advisor out there that's selling IUL needs to be very familiar with. So over the last 4 years, we have seen a few carriers that have created products that now have charges that are literally 8 times that of, let's just say, an Allianz. Let's think about that. If we have a 45-year-old, he's paying $20,000 a year. We add those charges up in year 30. The lowest cost carriers, the Allianz, the North Americans, the Symetras, the AIGs, the carriers we talked about at the beginning of the call, their charges are going to be somewhere in that ballpark of about $100,000 in year 30. If you look at the highest cost carriers out there, they're going to be somewhere between $800,000 and $1 million in charges. That's huge, right? If that doesn't make you sit back in your seat, then I think we need to do a pulse check here. Yeah. So this is all due to the fact that some carriers out there are really just simply trying to win that illustration war game and to buy the business. This has gotten so out of control, Randy, that what we're going to see is a third implementation of the AG 49 rule back from 2015 that kind of evened all the carriers out on an even playing field there.
Yeah. You know, what you just described is clearly illustrative of the fact that if you're an advisor out there wanting to market and sell more indexed universal life, partnering with an IMO, a BGA, like Gord Marketing, and with a carrier that has quality products like an Allianz is critically important to making sure that you're doing what's right for your client and you can feel good about your sales in the business. So Craig, if an advisor out there is listening to our story and really enticed by what we're talking about and wants to do business with Gord Marketing, what should they do?
Well, this is the easy part. We can simply reach out to whoever you're working with at Gord Marketing or reach out to myself. My number is 760-214-0194. My email is Craig, CRAIG, @gordonmarketing.com. We'll get you set up. We'll get you contracted with an Allianz contractor, one of our core carriers. From there, we'll get you out a Patrick Kelly book. We have a Patrick Kelly book, 3 of those, which is going to be a marketing piece. And then we're also doing live training, Randy. We're covering airfare. We're making an investment into the advisors that we work with to send you out to a live training event in Minneapolis at Allianz headquarters, where, again, we're going to cover airfare and hotel to get you out there.
Wow. So, you know, free travel, free training, free Patrick Kelly books, all for simply aligning your stars with Gord Marketing, where our job is to help agents sell more life insurance, become much more proficient in the IUL space. What more could they ask for, right? So, hey, listen, our time has run out, folks. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Selling Life and Annuities. I'm once again Randy Pearson, Vice President of Life and Annuities at Gord Marketing. I've got Craig Mira, our RVP out of Southern California. We are here to help you sell more life insurance and annuities. Please be sure you click subscribe at the bottom of this video and that notification bell so that you'll get notified every time we come out with new content. Thank you for watching this episode, and we'll see you soon.